welcome to episode 2 of the podcast featuring the Silver Duo and special guest repaints by Emily.
What are you guys up to?
So, I have been painting more Dakari. Currently working on my second Razor Wing. 3 to paint.
3 of them.
Yeah, they're not the funnest things to paint. But getting them done. Got a trip to Forge World coming up soon. So yeah, going to be having some games up there and hopefully meeting a couple of other TikTokers. So should be good.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah, how about yourself?
I'm switching between commission work and my orcs. So
Very nice. What are you doing for commission?
right now 2 Nurgles, a Great Unclean One, and a Nurgle Beast, and then a character model from Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I need to finish them.
Yes, gets like that, doesn't it? All right. Well, do we want to talk about the boxes then?
Yeah, sure.
So I think if we start with the Beast Snaggers box set, me nor you know what's in it average. So Emily, you're the only one out of the 3 of us that owns the Beast Snaggers box set.
Yes, I got them. I got them read in the pre-order. So with the new codex, with the new codex design, so it's more of an artwork than like the others. When you get them with the big boxes, they announced over the time.
Oh, nice. Okay, so what kind of like miniatures do you get in the box set? Because I've not really seen what you get with it. So as you mentioned, the limited edition codex comes with the set as well.
Yes, I already made an unboxing on TikTok, but we have a new HQ with the box set. Since the Beast Snuggers are going into the old way, like we know it from Fantasy or Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
So we will see more of nature textures like skin and fur, and also more swords and axes than you will usually see in orcs.
So like really focusing on like Snakebite, I think they are the clan.
Yeah. It's Snakebite. So we have the new HQ, that's Sogwart, and let me say this, he's a pain in the ass to build.
Oh, sure. I think I've got some pictures here of the box. I'll send it to the general so that Wargamer, you can see it.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. So with the new units in the HQs then, so is this more of a Are we looking at like fast attack units here? So in the general way of looking at how they play in the game, I take it these are units that we're looking to get up quick up the board and go into combat?
Yeah. We have definitely like a fast attack. We have we have 3 new squigs, squig riders. Battle squigs, the bigger one than we usually have with Gretchens or other minis. So they are in the first row of attacking.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so seems like it definitely poses more of a threat to any player that kind of goes against orcs in this new edition, which is nice, and it's great to see orcs get some new stuff. And I noticed they have a returning model as well, or unit, I should say, and I think that's the Death Copters, if I'm not wrong. I believe they're returning for the orcs too.
Oh, I'm so glad they are. It's been so long.
Yes. The Death Copters finally returned.
Because I think the last time I seen them, I think it was either 4th or 5th edition, and I remember people being so gutted that they couldn't be bought anymore, and I'm so happy that they're back. It was one of the main units I really wanted. so I could get orcs because I think they're absolutely amazing. I'm just having a look at the picture of the set now, and it looks like you get a lot of nice units. That HQ is phenomenal.
So right, like all the hair and...
Yeah. With the box set, there's one HQ, we have boys, and of course we have these Snugger Riders, Squig Riders.
Yeah, they look awesome. I'm a big fan of them.
I can't wait to build them. I can't wait.
What do you got to do before then?
20? Yeah, 20, 10 or 15 up to 20 orc knobs from my old boxes.
Ah, yes.
So they need to be done first, and then I can start with the beast snuggers. But
saving the best to last.
Yeah, definitely saving the best for last. I mean, I'm not with Jordan at the Wizard at Warhammer World, so I can't buy my Stomper, but the Stomper will be followed sometime soon, hopefully. And
one day.
In the meantime, but in the meantime, I have the beast snuggers.
That'll keep you entertained for a while.
I hope so.
No, about these beast snaggers is or the Squig Riders, I believe they were called, is they remind me very much of the Thunderwolf Cavalry for the Space Wolves, but it's kind of like orcs got their own addition to it. And they look so cool. So I think I'd love to see these guys in combat with a bunch of Thunderwolf Cavalry and just an all-out combat. God, that'd be amazing. This is why I love orcs. I just think they're amazing, and it's nice to see them get something new. I think it's kind of overdue.
Well, you mentioned it before. I'm just glad they're getting their copters back, because you haven't been able to buy them since the 4th edition box. Or I think it was in 5th edition, but yeah. That was so limited. The Assault and Black Reach box.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure which mini will are also coming back, because there are definitely the Beast Snuggers who are completely new, and the boys got a new update on their spruce.
Yeah, the boys got new models. What we're getting.
So, as you currently have the current codex, Emily, is there anything we can expect or anything new from the orcs from 8th edition? So is there anything that stands out that we can expect? So for current orc players out there, is there anything they can expect when they get the codex that comes out in, I think it's either September or October?
I think the map said September, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes late September, early October, I guess. So around the last 2 weeks of September or the first 2 weeks of October.
Yeah.
In retrospect, what to expect, like new models or new rules, or?
Just anything in general for orcs. So is there anything exciting that we can kind of hint at for some fellow orc players out there who want to join in on the upcoming war of the new codex?
Definitely
not enough heart in that one.
Definitely a few more models who are representing the old way. Some updated data sheets for remaining models that we all know, like Morko and Gorkonaut. So
yes,
but definitely a few more minis who are especially built around Squigs. So we have not only the Squigs, but also a pain mat for the Squigs.
So it sounds like there's a lot of good stuff coming out. So I think with everything coming out, it's definitely making me want to collect orcs. So in the near future, if you do follow me on TikTok, you might see some orcs coming in the future. So stay tuned.
I like my Gene Stealer hybrid orcs I'm happy with them.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize you had
I'm staying with the orcs.
Yeah, I don't think I could commit to orcs. Caleb, who you spoke to last time, Jordan, he's our orc player in our group.
So I take it he's got the beast snaggers as well.
He will soon. He's been on holiday for a while, so he wasn't able to get this yet.
Enough. Fair enough. But also on the talk of box sets, the Hexfire one for the Thousand Suns and Grey Knights looks absolutely phenomenal.
This one
and the fact
I know.
that with this one as well, you were able to get separately as well. So looking on this in the box set, so for the Grey Knights, you've got 1 Castalian Crow, 10 Grey Knights Purifiers, and 1 Nemesis Dread Knight. And then I believe for the Thousand Suns, it was 1 Infernal Master, 5 Scarab Oculate Terminators, and 10 Tazangers, with 2 upgradable sprues, with auto pistols and chainsword, and a Tazanger Shaman, I think it's pronounced, and I think that was the one on the disc. So it seems like you get a lot of good stuff within that box set, and the fact that they were separate. So yeah, it looked like you got a lot of good value for your money there.
And it's easier to start when you, I guess, for beginners, these box sets are the easiest way to get into the game.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like, I'm looking at this box now, and it's a perfect place to start for either of the armies.
Oh yeah, it's definitely brilliant, especially if you're getting into it with a friend, and then you can kind of share an army, or you decide who has what. And what I like about these shared boxes is that they always come with little mini games you can play, so you could kind of get a feel for the game as well, which is something I really love about these multi-purpose box sets.
Oh, for sure. And I think they got a good lineup with the Thousand Suns and the Grey Knights, because they counter each other so well, like with the updated codexes, that it just works as a good match.
100%. I was gutted because I wasn't able to pre-order it at the time. But at the end of this month, I'm looking to get the codex, so I'm really looking forward to seeing, as an 1000 Suns player, what Magnus can now do, as well as everything else. Magnus is the model I worry about the most. I'm hoping they've not debuffed him. I've hoped they've made him a little bit better. Personally, from my experience from 8th edition with Magnus, first time I used him, he got ran over by a rhino and died.
Oh, that's rough.
Although most of his wounds was taken out by a Soul Grinder and Bloodthirster, and he did wipe them both out, but the rhino just decided to charge him and take out his last wound, so yeah, that wasn't pleasant.
I've seen like some reviews and stuff, and like, I don't know, they've done well with Magnus, I reckon. I think I see a lot in the community where people are trying to compare him to Morty. Like, they're like, oh, Morty's just so much more survivable. But it's like, that's the point. Like, his Death Guard, they're supposed to not die. I think some of the output that Magnus can do makes up for it.
I mean, I think if you use his magic spells to then bring up his wounds, or use that with other sorcerers, you're going to make Magnus survive a lot longer.
Right, and the big thing with Magnus is he knows every single spell in the codex, so it's like, he's such a good toolkit to use in any list, because you can really use him on the fly depending on whatever you're going against.
100%. I think one thing I generally do as a 1000 Suns player, though, is I put a lot of things in the warp, and mine are very chargy units.
Yep.
So all of my Rubik Marines have warp flamers rather than like Inferno bolt guns. Just because I look at the AP and damage, and I think, oh well, they're higher, they'll be better. So I'm interested to see what they can do in this edition. I don't know if they've changed, but next week I'll get my hands on that 1000 Suns Codex.
Oh, I can't wait to get a hold of mine. I'm going off just like reviews and stuff on YouTube, which is where I'm getting most of my information from, and there's some cool tricks in there for sure.
I mean, there's one box set which I'm excited about, and it's a new kill team, Taurus.
Yes.
Oh.
Have you seen that one, Jordan?
It was on...
I've not seen much of it. No.
Okay, it's Imperium against Orcs.
Yes.
And the Imperium reminds me a little bit, just a little bit, of Second World War or First World War with all the gas masks and stuff like that. So that's a kind of cool box.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Death Corps of Krieg.
Yeah.
I'll get some photos so that Jordan can see.
That's going to be awesome. So I remember playing Kill Team years ago back in Games Workshop. And it was before like the actual Kill Team box set was like a whole thing at the time. And it was like, oh, I'll bring like 50 points of what you could. And then I think I used Tau, but I went around using a Piranha at the time because it was kind of, again, it was just a made up thing, but it looked awesome. Wow, these are amazing. So keep with
that's from Kill Team Octarius. So
you get that and a heap of orc terrain.
Yes.
That's really nice.
And I can't wait to lay my hands on the orcs and the terrain because we already pre-ordered it.
Oh, very nice.
But I guess I will buy a second box for me and Jordan then. So he can play with the orcs and I can play with the imps, even though I never played imps in my life before. Neither in 40k or fantasy or AOS. So it will be yeah. Could be funny.
Oh, for sure. See Jordan use the orcs.
Yeah. So I really I'm looking at the image of both the orcs and the what was it? Sorry, the
Death Corps.
Thank you. The Death Corps of Creed. And what I really like, I don't know why, but for some reason I kind of get a bit of Resident Evil vibes as well from looking at Death Corps for some reason.
Yeah, it's the mask.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. They look great. I mean, it's funny awesome. Because with my guardsmen, I'm going to do my guardsmen themed of Resident Evil, so I'm going to have them in the style of like BSAA and stars looking troops and stuff like that. And I'll try and make the Borgrins and the Ogrins kind of like a nemesis theme. So I'll see what I could do, but it's going to be tricky. I just need to find a place where I can get some custom transfers or something. But wow, that Kill Team kit looks absolutely amazing. So I look forward to getting my hands on that.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely, that would be amazing to play and to paint. I mean, for me as an orc player, it's amazing how many different orc models they will put out just in this year. So
yeah, no, it's definitely an exciting time to be an orc player. Like, even just getting the limited edition codex that you got is just it looks really cool.
It is, and I'm trying not to break the back of the book, but I know that will happen sometimes. But for now, it's okay. And I mean, I have the codex also in the app, so
yeah, so you can use that when you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting then. So on that note then, regarding the Warhammer 4K app, so considering the codex isn't out for the general people, for orc players, and you've got it ahead of time on the Warhammer 4K app. Is it possible to make a list with the new Beast Snaggers stuff? Has that all been incorporated into the app?
Not yet. It will incorporated be with the normal release for most of the minis. So I guess somewhere around October.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that's quite interesting how they've not added them on yet, considering I assume there are quite a few 4K players that are very dependent on the app when it comes to building lists. So
yeah,
that's interesting. So you'll probably have to use the points from the book.
The old pen and paper style.
Yeah. If you want to write a list with the newbie snaggers, you need definitely the book and pen and paper, of course. But the app is right now useless for orc players.
Oh. What a shame.
It's a shame, but it's okay.
The models are worth it.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I don't know the prices for Australia or UK, but I paid around 155 euros for a complete box set. So that's an average price for such a box with such many minis. And even the highly artsy codex.
So I can't remember what the price was when it came out. I didn't really look. I think it might have been 150, 120. I might have been wrong. So I've not got a clue. But I don't think anything new has come out for AOS, though, has it? Or has it recently?
Entire edition.
Yeah, because I know Orcs were also getting an update as well for AOS, I believe, as well, around about the same time.
Yeah, there was something.
Do you mean the Cruel Boys?
Yeah, I think they're the ones, yeah.
I'll send a picture and see if it's what you mean.
Yes, we have a new. That's the new Orc War Clans. We get a new battle tome.
Yeah, I thought I had a feeling there was something, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, I wouldn't play orcs in AOS. I play them in 40k, and that's enough for me. But the new orc models for AOS are absolutely amazing. I mean, we have new Cruel Boys, so means we have new Ambush.
Blurry, but
Wow.
yeah.
You know, awesome.
I mean, if you see this, you want to play orcs in AOS too, but I guess 2 orc armies are one too many.
No, that's fair. I was currently doing that with Zinch, and I ended up just using my demons more for 40k. So I decided to get myself Nighthaunt Ghosts instead, so that I have a dedicated Sigma army.
See, I've been debating whether to get a Sigma army or not because I love 40k so much. But I think if I was to get a Sigma army, originally I think it was Bretonia back in Fantasy, and I believe they don't.
Yeah.
They don't
Cities of Sigma
anymore.
Cities of Sigma.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay. Because I was thinking like, I'll probably get like dwarfs now instead. Because like dwarfs.
No, funny enough, in Fantasy, like 5th and 6th edition, you got the Dark Elves as an own army with an own codex, stuff like that. But now with AOS, Dark Elves are into the Grand Alliance Order, who also belong to Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah, it's weird because like Dark Elves are my favorite like fantasy race, but they're just tied in where you can use them with dwarfs and high elves and humans, and they don't get their own standalone thing, which is a bit weird now. But
yeah, I played Dark Elves were my first army when I started 10 years ago, and I was coming back and was looking at the Dark Elves and was devastated as I saw that they are now with their cousins who are normally their enemies. So I was like, okay, no, I won't play Dark Elves in AOS, but I will stay to Grand Alliance Order.
yeah,
But not with Dark Elves.
which is unfortunate because Dark Elves are so cool.
Dark Elves are amazing, but over the time there were so many models who were switched out to newer ones, and I can't stand the new models like for the War Hydra or for Murati. Yeah. Some of the models shouldn't be touched.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. For a while there, I saw on Jordan's live streams that he had a poster of Malekith.
Still do.
You still do? Yeah. That's me, boy.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I've also got one of Commander Shadow Sun for my Tau, and I did have another one of Logan Grimnar next to it. But the magnet wasn't strong enough, and it fell down. And I remember it hit my 4K TV, and I'm like, no. Thankfully, there's no like dent on the poster or on the TV, so it's like, all good. You know, But it's quite interesting because, again, with the whole AOS fantasy thing, like I really prefer the fantasy over AOS. I was really gutted when it changed because I wasn't a fan of the whole like resume and the way it changed. I think in the first edition of AOS, or it might have been nearing end of fantasy. I think I was told this by Games Workshop employees that he gave me all the PDFs for the codexes because they were free and like all the rules became free. I was like, oh sweet, okay, so I didn't have to buy the books. But then like I didn't really end up playing it anyway because I bought, I think, just a starter kit for Wars of Chaos, I think they were called, and my dad got Skeleton Kings.
Yeah.
We painted most of them up and then we just never played it because just we were so interested in 40k, and then the new edition came out for 8th edition, and it was like, okay, well, we might as well just carry on with 40k because it's what we know, and it was easier for us to play. So I think I don't know. I think if I'd have to get into Sigmar, it'll have to be something that a few people in my area would have to play if I was to play it. But I think one game I would have loved to played is Lord of the Rings, just because the kit looks so good.
The minis from Lord of the Rings are awesome.
Yeah, I have my new Riverdale army.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, you go.
I don't think they're going to do any more updates for this, are they? Like, I mean, I'm kind of interested to stand where Games Workshop are with when it comes to like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Because I know when The Hobbit came out, they started doing stuff for that, but I can't imagine they'll do as much updates for it.
From what I understand is that the rule system they have in place for it is the most like stable and balanced. So
Yes.
they don't have to keep releasing new stuff to keep up with other stuff because they don't need to keep changing the editions, because the rule set we have now is the same rule set from years and years ago because it just works. And the only reason we have, like, they've introduced new models for it is because the Hobbit movies have come out. And lately they've just been updating some old
with the Hobbit.
sculpts. Yeah, you go.
I guess they jeez. Fuck, brain, work, and not in German, please. They updated some of the molds they got already, from the old Lord of the Rings minis, like Gandalf, stuff like that. So they updated especially character miniatures.
Yeah.
But right now on the community side from Warhammer, so maybe I will find something.
Yeah.
Okay, because like I think one thing I've always been curious of, and this goes for anyone even listening, and just an open question in general. So, if they were to do anything with Lord of the Rings or Hobbit nowadays, what would you want to see? You know, whether it be like, don't know. Do you think it would be acceptable if they were to do like a kill team for Lord of the Rings? Would it work, or do you think anything else is required? Because I don't know how much Games Workshop profit off the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit stuff. I don't know how well it sells. Just because from what I've seen growing up, I don't see it advertised as much, especially when I'm on the homepage of Games Workshop. It's mainly AOS or 40k being kind of thrown at you, being like, oh yeah, check this out. And I can understand they're trying to promote that new stuff, but it would be nice to see kind of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit kind of get mentioned every now and then.
Yeah, I'd like to see them bring out campaign books that are based on the movies. So let's say they bring out an entire campaign book for Fellowship of the Ring, where the missions are played out in order of the movie. So you can just have one campaign book and you can essentially play the missions for the movie. I'd really like to see if they did that.
They have new minis, definitely new minis right now. They are from Forge World. It's King Brand, his son Bart II, and the Knights of Dale. Means we have new definitely a new fighters for Middle Earth, but I guess that's 4th century for Middle Earth.
Okay, interesting. So I definitely like the kit, but again, it's something I've always wanted to play, but no one in my local area, unfortunately, plays all the rings. And it's funny as well because even when you rock up to games in where I go anyway, every Wednesday evening we used to have like a little club where a group of people would turn up and we'd all play a game, and it was kind of we'd go to like a cafe place and you pitch in £1 just to kind of help, because it was kind of like a space you would rent in the shopping mall. It was quite funny as well, because so you're in like a Starbucks or a Costa and people walking back and you've just hogged all these tables thinking, oh, okay. And there's just a bunch of people playing Warhammer. What's going on here? So yeah, it was pretty cool. But everyone always took Space Marines, I find. Like I rock up and I'm like, I'm the only Xenos player, and people are like, oh, you're Tau. And I'm like, yeah.
I take pride in that, though.
Yeah.
Take pride into playing Xenos.
I'm like,
Take
yeah, I'm
pride in that.
Well, it was quite funny because at first, when I first started Warhammer, my first army was Eldar, and man, and this is going back in 4th edition, I lost the majority of my games, and I'm just like, man, like I'm so bad at 40k. And like, thankfully, there were like good people there that would help me out, kind of understand the game. And then I kind of jumped in on the whole Space Marine bandwagon. I'm like, I have Space Wolves now. And then people were like, oh, nice. So a lot of people played Dark Angels back then because they were lethal with like drop pods and Terminators or whatever heavy special weapons unit they could have. And I'm just like, oh, I would lose in like 2 turns. Space Wolves rock up and then I start winning like, yep. How the tables have turned.
Especially everyone being Dark Angels, you're just there to show off to them. You're like, guess what? We're superior.
Well, it was quite funny because I only decided to get Space Wolves. I've actually still got the White Dwarf magazine for this. And this was when the Wolflord on the Thunderwolf and the Thunderwolf Cavalry were first ever released. And this is when I got Space Wolves because like, damn, they look cool. So I still had my Eldar at the time, but I wanted a different army to play. And they were so much they were better and just they could do so much. And people were like, man, they're nasty. And then it became a bit hard to get games because people just didn't want to go up against Thunderwolf Cavalry. Yeah. And I'm just like, well, I'm not surprised. But I got better with my Eldar over time, and then I sold my Eldar for Tau because, all the greater good. So, right. Yeah.
The greater good.
Yeah, definitely. I've done that in the hobby shop in Bristol. Place called Area 51. So, shout out to Area 51 because, they're a cool hobby store in Bristol. Good little collectible shop for all board games and anything else you want to get. So, yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah. What was your first, guys, 40k armies?
My first... I had the Battle for Macragge set, which had Space Marines and Tyranids. So I built both them up.
For me, it was like, I never intended to play 40k back then, but now I feel safer around 40k than in fantasy, because it's easy to understand, and I like the minis really much. They're not so spiky than some AOS minis.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I mean, I was sorting some armies from my partner, and he got tons of Tyranids, and I guess every 5 minutes you could hear me just saying ouch, because I was grabbing into the minis and just got my hand poked at every angle possible from these Tyranids. So yeah, I guess that's never an army I would play.
Yeah, no, look, I feel that with my Tyranids, especially now the model's bigger and some of them have wings. It's a nightmare.
It's not only a nightmare; it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, for sure.
No, because I've got I've kind of I've forgotten. Yep. No, my brain's gone for a walk. Yep. No, I can't remember.
Words are too hard today. Let's all agree.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's come back to me. So
Perfect. What did you want to say?
So on the thoughts of these codex releases with all the new stuff coming out. So I've seen loads and loads of videos all over YouTube and about Gene Stealer Cult and Tau being the armies that are just getting consistently beating in 9th edition. I certainly felt that pain thanks to Devon Miniature War Games. So if you're watching Devon Miniature War Games, thank you very much. But I got my vengeance with Space Wolves, so that was fine. But yeah, I think in regards to releases, what's your thoughts on these other armies getting updates when there are certainly weaker armies that could do with these updates more? Because I think in the future, so it looks like we're getting the Black Templars Codex, which I'm really excited for because I absolutely love Black Templars. But I think from the sneak preview, it looks like Custodes and Tyranids could possibly be next. Don't know whether that'll be a shared combat patrol box. Starter collecting kit, I should say, or individual releases. But I think there are certainly armies that need it more than others. So do you think it's fair in the way Games Workshop are releasing these codexes, or do you think that it should be planned out differently?
I don't know. I think. Yeah, you go.
Go on.
I was just saying, it's such a hard thing to keep up with though, because now I play Tower as well as Genes to the Cult, and you can definitely tell they're struggling. But if they got updated before, then it'd be something else that would be struggling. Like Thousand Suns would still not be able to keep up, and Grey Knights wouldn't be as strong as what they are now. So it's such a hard thing to decide, and I think there's how many Xenos armies have a new codex now? It's just Jakari, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's just Jakari.
And Orcs are getting next.
Oh, and Orcs.
But we have so many Imperium, and then we're starting to get Chaos now with Death Guard and Thousand Suns. But, I feel... But it's hard, because obviously Imperium sells the most. So, it's such a hard thing to try and find the balance of.
Definitely, but what I guess is that they are going from their sales, how many or how much they sell from which army.
Yeah.
And who gets the most recognition. I mean, many players are upset about GW's love for their Space Marines, because Space Marines are getting new models each year, stuff like that, or getting more updates. Yeah. And that feels unfair for Xenos or other armies. I mean, which army is struggling the most? Since I started with 5th edition, so back then it was definitely Tau and Elder who were struggling the most, and I guess Tau and Elder are still struggling to keep up.
But in 6th and 7th, Eldar and Tau were two of the strongest armies you could take. So
yeah,
I feel like
6th and 7th, but
yeah, and it makes it hard, because I feel like a lot of armies from 8th to 9th as well are suffering from past experiences like that. So Tower had the problem where they had an extremely strong build with the triple Riptide. So now it's to the point where they've made the Riptide so much worse off than what it was because of how well it's done before.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I find though, when I fielded Riptides, I feel now personally Riptides do not strike fear into enemies that you now play. I feel
Right.
like Riptides are in fact too easy to be taken down now, which is a shame. If there's anything personally I want for Riptide is now there will probably be a lot of disagreement in this, but I feel like the Riptide needs a better toughness and more wounds personally. Because when you compare it to the Storm Surge, the Storm Surge again, it's okay, but the problem you've got with that is the Storm Surge, for better firepower, you have to anchor it down, and then if you don't anchor it down, it's terrible. And then on top of how bad Tau shooting is in general, if you're not using marker lights, which as a town player, I generally don't use marker lights. So I'm already putting myself at a disadvantage, admittedly. But then I put myself at an even worse disadvantage when I don't use drones. Because I try to have more units in my Tau army that I'm going to field, so I don't waste points on things that are more likely to die straight away. So I could get more firepower on the field. But either way, no matter what you seem to do, it doesn't seem to cut it nowadays.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Tau shooting gets a bit better, and they improve the way marker lights work. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
Since I've picked up the Tower, since we last talked, I've gone through the codex over and over again because I've tried to find a way to make Tower work and understand exactly what everything does. And I think in a vacuum, the thing with Tower is that they've designed everything around marker lights. So a lot of the ballista skill and stuff like that is basically taking into account that you're going to be bringing marker lights. But the game I played with my Tower, I brought 1,250 points, and it's so hard to fit decent units in there as well as the marker lights you need to support them. And then you get to the point where you're paying so much already to try and make things better. Like, if you're already paying upwards of 400, nearly 500 points for a Storm Surge, but then you need the marker lights to actually make it efficient at what it's trying to do. And I found that the entire book is built around assuming you're going to have enough marker lights off. But then it seemed like they realized that that's not exactly working, because then you get the Greater Good update where they've got stratagems that's just like, you pick a crisis suit, unit, and then you go, just count it as having 5 marker lights when it shoots. So it's basically gone, this is what it should already be doing. So for 1 CP, just let it happen.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing you have to rely on as well is making sure that, when you're shooting these marker lights, they hit as well. So
right.
I think maybe so don't get me wrong, like, it's great that Tau have the ability to Overwatch for free and CP does not come into effect. That's fantastic. But if that's the case, if you want to use marker lights, maybe I would say, what if they had it the same way Dakari have their combat drugs? So in the first turn, they hit on the 4s, and then in round 2, their weapon skill comes to a 3, and then the toughness increases by 1. So a wound automatically regenerates after like the 4th turn or the 3rd turn. So I think doing it that way in that concept for a marker light system would make more sense personally to me.
Right, and I think they rely so heavily on something that you have to pay for that's not even guaranteed. So my way of getting off marker lights is Pathfinders. They're my favorite infantry unit in the army. But if you're going to take marker light drones, as soon as you move them, they're hitting on 6s. Like, you're not even going to get the marker lights off. So having it, like, I reckon once the Codex comes out, they're going to revamp it completely, because I just feel like where it's at the moment just isn't benefiting Tower enough.
Yeah, 100% I agree.
I agree too.
And it's one thing I've seen a lot more is crew units are being used.
Yes.
I find as some form of replacements, because crew are somewhat better in a lot of ways than fire warriors.
Yeah, I mean, fire warriors have their place, but crew are just better all round. Like, they've got the close combat to sort of shield them. They've got that scout move at the start of the game, and like, they're just more efficient in every phase. Whereas fire warriors are just really good, but you got to keep them shooting, and that's it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think regarding the crew as well, I mean, all right, they have less of a range, and the thing I miss as well is when their weapons kind of used to be sniper, like when it was back in 4th edition or 5th edition, when it was strength X, so like you would always wound on like a 4 unless it was a tank.
Right.
So it was like even the crew guns over time, they've become weaker.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But yeah, I think for me that's all I've got regarding my Chow complaints. Maybe some new crew models, please, GW.
God, being able to take a full crew army would be sick. Make the Shaper a HQ.
Oh, I so agree with you, but I feel like he's kind of like the best way I could describe it, like he's like the Lucas the Trickster of the group.
Yeah,
like the Space Horse, but like kind of like the Crew version. So yeah, maybe like a proper Crew HQ would be awesome. I like to see kind of like a Crew Walker type thing.
Yeah.
So maybe like a Crew Tox riding. I don't know, something like a Riptide, but just I don't know, but it's kind of the Sentinel for the Guardsman, but like something for that for like the crew would be.
That'd
awesome.
be cool.
Anyone else got anything?
Currently not.
Just looking at the crew on Games Workshop now. All those crew hounds need an update.
Oh yeah, crew hounds are terrible. I don't know anyone who takes crew hounds.
The models just look so aged.
I mean, crew hounds look like if you put a hairdryer too long on a regular crew model, and that's what it kind of forms into.
Just melts it down a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like here's kind of like my kit bash to crew hounds.
So when you play Dawn of War, what's your which game do you play? Just Dawn of War 1 or Dark Crusade or?
Oh, okay. Now, Dawn of War, I've got such a soft spot for, because the first one, I love the campaign. The campaign's great, and I recently completed it on Insane on the hardest difficulty. Now, here's the thing: so it's like it gets harder and harder, obviously on levels, but then the last level, in which you go up against a demon prince, because he kind of gets this orb thing, which kind of gives him all this power, and he's like, oh yes, unlimited power, da 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 da. So you think, oh man, right, okay, this is going to be hard. And the boss is kind of just sitting in the middle. You've got Elnor, which are kind of helping you out on the right hand side, but they just get absolutely annihilated straight away. So they kind of just sit there with a few spirit seers, kind of just reinforcing their home base, and there's me with already kind of like predators coming out, land speeders being made, loads of raptors coming, not raptors, sorry, jetpack units,
Assault Marines,
thank you, and dreadnoughts all coming out, and it's just okay, dead within like 10 minutes of the final game.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, what a shame. I mean, thing is, I've been playing Dawn of War for ages. I wouldn't say professionally, but I would play it competitively with my friends. We'd get home from college and we chuck resources high in everything. And then you try and build as fast as you can, and then try and destroy your mate's bases as quick as possible. But the one we would always play was Dark Crusade or Soulstorm. And Soulstorm was great because you can put an Apocalypse mod on there, which would allow Forge World models and Tyranids as a playable army. Because Tyranids are not originally in Soulstorm. In fact, then they were the only army missing, I believe. So with the mod, you could chuck that on. It's like, oh, wicked. And then, but Tyranids were nasty. The only thing you had to be lucky enough with the Apocalypse mod that it would not crash your laptop or PC.
Yeah, the amount of times I've done a like one of the nukes and it's just crashed the whole game before it's even gone off because it's just thought about it and gone, nah, see ya.
I know exactly what you're talking about as well.
My favorite trick to play, because do you guys remember LAN parties?
Yes.
Oh god, they were incredible. We did a LAN party where we played a Dawn of War Dark Crusade game. It was 4-player and it went for 6 hours. And I played as Eldar and I just had the entire base with the invisible webways. And like every time someone would just go to a random spot, I'd just spawn in like a heap of Dark Reapers and they would just destroy anything like that. And then they'd disappear back in the webway. And it got to the point where I had the webways right outside the bases. So it was like, I just wouldn't let them move. It was great. It took 6 hours to do though, so.
Yeah, I do love Eldar for that. I think one thing I like doing as well is I love playing as the Space Marines because with the scouts, when you put them when you get the stealth upgrade, I would get a load of scouts, but then I would really build my base defensively because my mate would send out loads of stuff. And then once I had because it was a capacity of 20 units you could have, I think, or like it was 20 points or something like that, and they cost. I think it was 1 CP each. And I would then turn stealth off, and then they would just go absolutely haywire on my mate's base. And be like, "Where do these all come from?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're welcome."
They were here all along.
Yeah,
I need to say, I never played the games.
Oh, it's so good.
Even now, they're still so good.
I mean, I have the fantasy, like Total War on my laptop. But I never played them really.
I've just started Total War 2.
I mean, it's not my game. I will stick to my favorite online RPG, and I guess testing out something new would be a little bit tricky for me.
Wow, what's your favorite?
World of Warcraft.
Of course, good choice. What?
I play since the beginning. I'm a Horde player.
Oh, of course, yeah, I should have known.
I am, and I always be a Horde player since 17 years now.
That's awesome, though. I'm a Night Elf.
What we do best, boss. Whoa! For the Horde!
I would join in, but I have children sleeping in the next room, so I don't think they'd appreciate that.
Oh, fair enough.
Fair enough.
I'll keep my walls a bit quieter, sure.
And I can't go louder because my voice will crack if I get any louder.
That's the best part.
Yeah. But I think in regards to Warhammer games, I think for PC, I think, and this is from my perspective, PC, Dawn of War all the way. On console, okay, now I can't say the modern era because the modern era is now like the PS5 and everything else. So I'm going to say from the PS2 perspective, it was Far Warrior. From the PS3 and Xbox 360 era was Space Marine.
Yeah.
Shame THQ went out of business, but I hope someone else picks it up and makes a second one. So Sega, I'm counting on you.
Don't let us down.
From the PS4 and the Xbox One, I want to say it's got to be. I think it was an Inquisitor game that came out.
Inquisitor Martyr.
Yeah, that game is
That was a
phenomenal.
good game.
And the reason why I love that game so much is because it reminds me of Kill Team that came with Space Marine back on the previous generation. And Kill Team was so good, and I can't find any place I could pick up this game anymore. But this Inquisitor game is just phenomenal, and it reminds me of everything that Kill Team was. Great. The Space Hawk one, Deathwing, really let me down. I expected so much from this game, and I can't seem to get on with it. Hardly no one plays it. It's such a shame.
Yeah, I tried to play that for a bit. I couldn't get around it.
But hopefully, in the come on, Jordan, what's going on with me today?
Told you, words are hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. No, it's gone. I'm trying to think of the quote. What is it in the grim darkness future or whatever it is? How does it go again?
Now you got me
What's
stumped.
the quote? I'm trying to think of the quote.
In the far future, there's only... No, I don't know. God. Someone will crack this. Someone will know it.
Like, this is the funny part. This is the, oh no, my brain's not working section.
And it's contagious. It really is.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I don't have the problem. My brain just switches languages, so...
That's such a cool problem to have, though.
It's not.
Do you ever just get it where you're just talking to someone and you just realize halfway through you've just changed language and they're just staring at you like, huh?
It happens all the time. It happens. I can't get it because normally I switch between German and dialect. But now I'm switching between German, English, dialect, English. So no, not gonna work.
It's just...
And since I'm learning a third language right now, it's even harder.
What are you learning now?
Romanian.
Oh, nice.
Now it's a little bit harder than I guess. So we'll see.
The only thing I know is that in the Tau language, AULA stands for a veteran warrior, I believe.
Surely you know Monkey.
I can speak fish language.
Oh god, it's getting to him.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm melting away. I'm going to end up shape-shifting into like a Kroot hound or something.
No. You wake up one day and you'll just be blue.
Oh, please not.
Oh, I hope not.
I'm blue, double dip, double da.
No, please don't. Please don't. Now it's stuck in my head.
That was a double-edged sword. It was worth it, though.
The problem is that's a German band, so...
Okay, I'm thinking this is something we've got to try do for the next podcast, is we got to try think of a little game show moment that we can add on into the part of the podcast.
A game show moment.
And I'm thinking something we could do for the people that listen, and I'm thinking we could do, you know how you've got like Guess Who? We could kind of describe a model and they can guess the model we're talking about. So we pick one from any faction, whether it's like a HQ or a unit, and we basically describe it, but we don't go into too much detail, but enough information that people could guess what model it is.
Right, I'd be down for that.
So
that'd be a fun part.
The podcast. So we'll have to figure something out.
You just do something like grumpy old man pointing.
Yeah, but you also have grumpy old man pointing in one orcs.
Well, I was thinking a Necron model, but alright. I'm now looking for grumpy old man for orcs.
Gasgul.
Oh, okay. Debate.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's say that.
It could be Gasgul, or it could be the new HQ, which comes with Beast Nagas.
Necrons. Are Necrons the Wish version of the T-800, or is the T-800 the Wish version of the Necrons? Ooh.
Controversial.
Ooh. Place your bets. I mean, I don't
Well,
know what comes first. So,
But that's
I
like
think-
asking what came first, the Zerg or the Tyranids.
oh, Magnus is innocent, by the way.
Nothing wrong. Nothing at all.
Exactly. Everybody, well, not everybody, but most people love Magnus. You gotta love. He just looks so cool. How can you say Magnus is innocent and then look at a model like that and just be like, oh yeah, scum. Like, such a traitor.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at his model now. He doesn't really exude innocence.
I feel like when you look at Magnus, he's kind of like the model everybody wants, but because because he doesn't fit into some people's armies, he's just like, oh yeah, he's totally to blame. He did everything.
Yeah.
He's kind of like he's like the Ferrari of the 40k universe. Everybody wants it, but if you've got it, great. If it doesn't suit you, no, you don't like it. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite funny. But then again, I feel like with Space Marines, it's so funny because I had this concept in mind to do like a comedy skit where it's like a big meeting of like a new edition. So like, say if it's like 10th edition, Space Marines walk in, Tau walk in, Tyranids walk in. And it's like, right, okay, welcome to the meeting, everybody. What do you want in this edition? And then Space Marine just goes, I want new models. And then the manager just goes, you get new models every year. Stop asking for new stuff. And then the Space Marines like kind of like start kicking off, and then they go, fine, you can have new models.
And then just have like you get like some elder come up and be like, can I have new models? Like, sorry, we're all out. We gave them to the Space Marines.
Yeah, we don't have enough in our budget to make you new models this edition. Maybe next edition, if you're lucky, we might make them when you're fine cast models into plastic this time.
Yeah. Try again next time.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I think I'm gonna call it that. I think.
Yes,
Me too.
it's been good chatting.
Yep.
Need to
Likewise.
do some stuff. And thanks for having me.
Likewise.
Thanks for
Thanks
joining.
for coming on as a guest.
Thanks.